It's Fernando Ruiz Art. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. And we are looking at, this is a little side project I've been working on lately. And this is my Afterlife with Archie fan fiction. If you've been following me on my social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and on my website, FernandoRuizEverybody.com, then you've been seeing me post pages of my own Archie fan fiction, where I'm doing my own take on the Archie in a zombie apocalypse setting story. So here we're seeing, this is actually page 5. There have been 4 pages already, and page 5, as you can see, is still underway. It is still being done. So this has nothing to do with Archie Comics. It will not be published by Archie Comics for many reasons. So the only place you'll be able to see it is over on my website, FernandoRuizEverybody.com. Once a week, usually on Fridays, I will post a new page. So the 4 previous pages are up there. Make sure you get over there and check them out. And usually when I post them, I don't just post the page, but I may post a little director's commentary along with them. So please check it out, and you'll be able to see this one there, up there, this Friday at the latest, because I only have those 2 panels to go, so I may knock those out maybe during a class. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. Today I wanted to do something just for the hell of it, just for the sheer fun of it, and that is drawing one of my favorites. Let's see if you can figure out who this is. And this is not necessarily a comic book character, although, let's see, let's get in a little closer. Keeping things light as usual. I start out very, very light. There could be a little bit of foreshortening with this guy. We're doing a bit of a classic flying pose here, so there will be some foreshortening with at least one leg. I do have my my Google off camera here with my reference on this guy, because this may actually be, although I love this guy, this may actually be the very first time I've ever drawn him. I think even as a kid, I don't think I ever drew this guy. So we're getting into the foreshortening here. So let's take a real close look. Let's make sure this is better lit than it is. Okay. I'm my own crew here. I'm the lighting guy, everything. So I have been posting those Archie pages on my social media, and I always link to my social media in the description below. My Instagram, Facebook, what else do I got going? Twitter, I always say I don't use Twitter a whole lot, but if I post on Instagram, I'll link to Twitter. And of course, I've been revitalizing my website, FernandoRuizEverybody.com. So I hope you guys will check it out. My poor website had long been neglected because I've been doing this channel, and because just busy with other things. So I'm happy to get back into it. And speaking of neglecting, I know it's been a while since I posted a video, about a week. I like to do more. I like to get more videos out per week, but it's been a busy week. This week I made somewhat of a return to comic conventions with my first convention in a year. I did the great Garden State Comic Fest, the winter edition, which is actually probably the last show that I had done prior to the whole pandemic thing. But we, precautions were taken. It was a good time. A nice bit of a turnout. Although again, they didn't get crazy about it. But it was a good show. It was a good show. It's nice to see that it can be done. And I love the Garden State guys. They're very nice guys. Dave O'Hare, by the way, who is one of the guys who runs Garden State, he purchased my dog piece. If you've been following me on Instagram and my other social media, you'll see the piece that I've been doing lately of every fictional cartoon comic strip dog that I could think of. That piece really got looked at a lot. But Dave is now the proud owner of that piece. So as soon as I finish inking it, I do have to add his dog into the group. So I'm happy to do that. But then as soon as I've done that and inked it, then it's all Dave's. All right, now by the logo, some of you older guys, I have to say, older guys being my age or older, some of you guys may recognize who this is. And yes, this is the man himself, Ralph Hinkley, the greatest American hero. If you're too young, you may not know who the greatest American hero was. Yeah, we're not talking about Captain America or one of those guys. We're talking about Ralph Hinkley, California teacher, high school teacher, an all-around nice guy who was bestowed with this alien super suit by aliens. Except Ralph lost the instruction book. So I was a kid when this show premiered. It premiered, I believe, 1981. So that would have put me at probably just before I turned 12. So it must have been 11. And of course, it was a superhero show. So I was there. I was all over it. Superheroes, the television, and nowadays in this golden age of Netflix and Marvel movies and the MCU and all that. Nowadays, today's generation probably takes this for granted, but back in my day, a superhero show was a real rarity, believe it or not. Yeah, we had some science fiction. We had actually a fair amount of science fiction, but a superhero show was something else. You didn't see a whole lot of that. So anytime that we could get, just about anything, I'd be all over it. So Ralph was not too keen on flying, so that's why I want to give him a bit more of a scared face. Of course, I may tweak this after the video is done. A lot of things that I do, in the interest of expediency, just to keep these videos from becoming like 2 hours long. And I have noticed my last batch have been creeping up in time, been getting to like 20 minutes, close to half an hour. I do try to keep them brief because, well, shorter videos do get more traffic. So Ralph had his distinct blonde curly hair. And I think I'm making him a little too beefy, so I may slim him down some. That was the whole point of the greatest American hero, is that he was essentially just an average guy. He wasn't He wasn't this big, beefy superhero type. He was just a guy with a super suit who was out to do good. So the show ran for 3 years. I was there for all 3 years. It was a solid show. And now I know, these days, now in the post Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad, all those shows, there's probably something about that 80s pacing and sensibility that might turn off the modern audience. But I think and I do catch episodes of this every now and then. Every now and then, there's places that will show it, and it's a solid show. I think it holds up if you could put the show into its context. It does hold up. Now, for me, the star of the show for me was Ralph's sidekick, FBI agent, ultra FBI agent Bill Maxwell, who was played by the legendary Robert Culp. And Bill Maxwell was Ralph's FBI agent partner. He was, big gun aficionado, a real military guy, loved to throw his badge around. He was a real go-getter, who was a nice counterpoint to Ralph's more liberal tendencies. But Bill, for me, really stole the show, and Robert Culp was great in that role. Every now and then, I do hear rumors, talk about some sort of reboot or update to the show. I'm on the fence about that. It'd be great. It would have been great if we had gotten more Greatest American Hero than we did. 3 seasons, I have always thought just was not enough for that show. But nowadays, having caught some reboots like what did we have? The Knight Rider, we had the Bionic Woman, and these have been within the last 15, 20 years, and they've all been horrible. They've all been terrible. So when people say, oh, let's bring back the Greatest American Hero, I would just be deathly afraid of what that would be like. I think there was a whole lot more to explore with the Greatest American Hero than we actually got. But, I would hate to see what would be done with this whole concept in the hands of today's writers. They just make everything boring. All right, so he is largely penciled. Okay, there is Ralph, largely penciled. I may tweak him some more, but he is probably good to go. I may tweak him some more. I may work on the cape. I'm not totally happy with the cape's pose. I may have the cape going off panel a little bit. Ralph's cape wasn't that long. But there he is, the Greatest American Hero. What do you think? Did I do him justice? Did I keep him great? I may ink this guy, and I'll do a coloring video too. What do you think? Let me know if you want to see that. As always, if you like this, please click like. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please feel free to share this and any of my videos. And keep drawing, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.